welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Airfix's new tooled 148 scale Curtis P40B Warhawk. As we can see, beautiful little kit down here. Nice to see Airfix are really ramping them up at the moment, bringing out some really beautiful kits that go together very, very well. Lovely box art on the front, so we're obviously assuming this is Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. Depicting obviously a P40 taking off under fire with the zeros all coming in behind. Okay, so box, really there isn't too much on this. We've got your kit number down there, which is A05130. Okay, and what have we got? There it is. We've got a little bit just down on here, obviously talking about the P40. We've got A and B types down here, so they're both P40. Sorry, actually, yeah, one's the P40B and one is the Curtis Hawk 81A2. Okay, different ones. So obviously the very famous Flying Tigers down there in China in 1942, and then obviously we've got this one up here for the P40, which is at Wheeler Field in Hawaii, December 7th, 1941, which I have visited. Amazingly, I was there a couple of years ago. Very moving place to visit indeed. Okay, so there we go. Nice box with an open top lid. Airfix's normal way, all in one bag and everything else like that. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Sit. Okay, and then down in here, we're hoping we've got some decals somewhere, haven't seen them yet. Straight down into the instructions. So, straight in. Usual thing, that all important floor. Let's see if it is the correct depth or not. And then obviously we've got the various items going into the cockpit and everything else like that. Somebody's asking me, Phil, why did you mention about being in colour and all the rest of it? It's not, it's just that it draws the eye to where different parts are. So not so much for your experienced modeler, but for the newer modelers coming into it, it just helps break up what looks like a complete complex load of parts, and it draws your attention to the bits you're actually fitting to and everything else like that. So that's why I said about it. So there we go, all going in there. Nice to see we've actually got the framework and all the rest of it in a cockpit sort of sub-assembly, which is going to go in there, which will give you a very nice sense of depth to the actual cockpit area. Not too sure how much you're going to see in there, but definitely it looks like it's highly detailed, as we can see in all of these parts. Okay. Up over on the other side, we've got the instrument panel. Obviously, it's going to be a decal fitted in there for this scale. That's no problem. And then we've got a little pilot figure, which is always a nice touch with Airfix. We've got the, I think that's the radio bay, is it, down the back there for going in. Obviously, you're going to close it up, but you could have it open if you want. We've got a navigation light being fitted down in there. That all-important cockpit being fitted into the tub. Looks like we've got a lot of framework detail as well on the inside, which is nice. The radiator system for the all-important chin on the P40. So we've got that being fitted down in there, and then we've got the front areas, two halves going together, and again putting them all in, taking out a couple of the little areas on the front. Okay, and then we can actually put the top of the actual coaming down over the cowling, sorry, over the top of the engine. And then we've got the guns being fitted, and then obviously the parts all going in for the wheel wells, and those being fitted down into there. The wing section going on there, the front covers, and then the control surfaces and tailplanes all being fitted in there. And then we've got, looks like cowl flaps being fitted down there on the back of the radiator. Okay, gear open or closed, so we've got doors for each and the same wheels for each as well, I would imagine. And then obviously in the deployed position, if you're going to go with the gear down with the gear doors and fitting those in, nice little touch. We've got weight on wheels as well, which is lovely to see as well. There's the decals, I was getting worried. Okay, and then obviously we've got the propeller system being fitted on there. Different types of pitot tube on there, so we've got the straight or the offset one, and then we've got the gun barrels being fitted on there. Glazing work all going down in there, as you might imagine. And then we've got the markings. Okay, so there we go, that's the one out of Wheeler Field. Again, beautiful little markings with this one, with the old school army markings and everything else down in there. But there we go, that is the nice one. The Flying Tigers, the very famous squadron over there in China, which sort of depicted the shark's mouth on aircraft. Let's face it, it's where it all started. And the Warhawk having that bigger air scoop at the front, absolutely made for it. It looks fantastic. So straight into the decals. We can see on these, not too bad at all. Airfix, usual thing, they always tend to be a little bit flat, if I'm honest, but they don't look too bad. And you're catching them in the light, you can see they don't look too bad at all. The actual carrier film and that, it's pretty much right up to the edges now. You don't get that big thing with the carrier film, it'd be like 1mm all the way around. It's now up to the edge, which is really nice to see on some of these markings. Generally, no problem with those again. All nice these days in register. If you haven't got an Airfix kit for a few years, trust me, it's nothing like it used to be. Okay, one big bag sealed. Okay, which is always a little bit of the things you get what I call part rub. Even the clear parts sometimes they can be rubbed, and as we can see here, they're really coming off because of it. Okay. Okay, so let's have a general look around at these. As you can see, very nicely done. This is Airfix's softer plastic again. We were saying, you can always tell when you drop it, this is quite the soft plastic. It doesn't sound very much. You get the other one we were reviewing the other day when we did the Meteor and that, when you drop it, it's a more tinny sound. That's because it's a harder injection moulding. This is quite the soft one, that's why it's quite pliable and flexible. Generally though, looking around it, although we are devoid of any riveting detail, we've got plenty of nice recessed panel lines on all of these. As you can go around and you can see it down in there, very nicely done, very smooth. We have got a little bit of riveting for access doors, access points, things out here around the front. Everything else doesn't look too bad at all. These wings, again, you're catching it in the light, you can see no real riveting detail on these again, but we've certainly got some nice crisp full length panel lines, no problem at all. We've got this raised band around here for the walkway, okay, up the side of the wing roots. And then on the inside, what we were saying about, it's quite nice. Although you've got the ejector pins, you're never going to see them really, but it is nice to have the full framework right the way around. Obviously, we've got the compartment in a moment going to be fitted in and everything else like that. So no problem with those again. Very nice, clean, crisp moulding. No real signs of flash either, which is quite a nice touch. Sometimes it can be a little bit flashy, but no problems with that anywhere. And we've even got some very nice detail down here in the wheel wells. They are quite nicely done. Just showing some little fabric movements down in there. We have got huge ejector pins in there, which is obviously a little bit of a problem, but to be honest, because they're central, they should be quite easy to get rid of. But generally very nice indeed. And we do have this way, just draw your attention to these new locating pins. If you see them on the wings, we saw them in previous models, we're seeing them all the time now. It makes for a far more secure, so instead of just having a pin, you have the round O, because there's the sort of male side of it. And it does give one. You've got the traditional ones down here, but up on the more flat parts, that's quite a nice little touch really. It just spreads that weight, makes for a more secure join and everything else like that. Navigation ones, you can see you can pop those in. Looks like we've got a little bit of flash in that guy, so you might want to clean it out. Or if you're like me, you'll do it afterwards with a little bit of clear, and then you can paint on top of it and go through the motions. But generally, very nicely done. Can't see any problem at all with that. That looks really nice. Then let's have a look at the underside. So we've got the full length of the underwing, as you can see down in there. Very nicely done. So we've got some nice sort of, you know, texture into the actual rib effect on this soft coverings on the control surfaces, on the ailerons, as you catch them in the light like that. No problem at all. And again, very nice raised details. These are actually really sharp. The actual bolts. And the riveting set that is going to go in and hold this plate in. Same goes with these ones for the tops of the engines, control surfaces. You can see we've got that nice level of detail in those. The prop, no problem at all. That looks pretty nice, and we've got the drop tank in there. Again, really nicely done. Clean, crisp moulding on all of this, no problem at all. Can't see any problems down on this whatsoever. It's a really nice touch. Again, it's the Airfix of really stepping it up now. Okay, so over here on this sprue, you can see you've got a lot of detail going down on all of this, no problem at all if we just work our way around. So up here, we've actually got obviously the bits around the cockpit, the bulkhead, things like that. Pilot figure looks really, really nice actually. He's very nicely moulded, no problem with that at all. We'll have a look at these on the other side, but the floor, okay, I can't vouch for the height and all the rest of it. I'm not an expert on the P40, but it does look like it has the curved wing shape going right the way through it and all the different details put on those, so that looks quite nice. Again, the riveting on this bulkhead, just down on here, catch it in the light. There we go, you can see some nice level of detail in there on all of these parts as we're working our way along. No problems anywhere. It actually looks really very, very nice. Okay, so anyway, on the other side now we can see it's got a few little ejector pin marks you might want to take care of, catch them somewhat in the light. There we go, you can see them there. Okay, we've got the seats, obviously two different types of seats. And then this is that internal detail we were saying about, really nicely done, no problem with any of those. The instrument panel, obviously you've got a decal for it, but I'm being more inclined to actually paint and dry brush it to have a nicer level of detail. The bits and pieces, the weight on the wheels, we have got a big centre seam going through them, but that's easy to sand out. They're nice, they're bulged and everything else like that, which is very nice to see. And generally looking at all of these parts around on here, we can see we've got no problem. That's that door on the side of the fuselage, the inside detail of it. Again, really nicely done. No problem with any of those at all. Last up, we've got the clear parts. Okay. Actually, looking pretty good. No problems at all. I'm just looking over this one. What about the actual front glass? That's what I'm looking for. These are no problem at all. You can see them nice and clear and all the rest of it. My concern is, where's the actual, how does that work? Front glass. Has it got internal framing into this? Let me just go back and check. It has external framing, I take to it. I didn't spot that during the making of it. Right, okay, got you. So, this is your... Has it really? Is it like that? It has the framework comes up. Sorry, it's just that there is no framework on the front glass at all. I thought maybe it might have a part that comes up. So obviously the gun sight the armor glass is on the inside, which obviously is this part is going to come up and then going to go into the back of this. But it was just, I don't know, I thought you'd have more sort of framework around it. There is zero framework around it, like it just sort of sits on there. I thought, is it just curved all the way around in one piece? I didn't realise it was a full curved piece right the way around the front. But again, very nicely done. The rest of it has all the framework, no problem at all. That'd be nice and easy to do. These rear ones, that's all good. We got obviously the gun sight, things like that going down in there, and the landing lights and whatnot. They're all beautifully done. But I say, unusual for that one, I must admit. I thought it had more framework around it, shall we say, than obviously just that. I assume it's just going to poke in and have no problem. It's just that the framework is very softly moulded just around the outside. That's the way it would go up, facing you head on, so to speak. It's just this one is very softly moulded around there and everything else. So obviously you just want to take care of that, and that is supposed to be there. I assume that's a rear view mirror in the top part that sticks up just there as well. Caught me a little bit, that one. So there we go, that is Airfix's new P40. To be honest, if it's anything like anything I've built from Airfix over the last 12 months or so, they've been absolutely beautiful kits, fun, enjoyable kits to go together. It really is back to Airfix's heyday of releasing good quality kits that go together. Nice, clear instructions now, which are great for the novice. So if you are, you know, thinking about picking up a kit and you want to go have a go at modelling, stuff like that, the Airfix range, the new stuff, as long as you get the new stuff, are absolutely fantastic. They're very easy to use, the instructions are easy to follow, and you should end up with something really, really nice here at the end of it. So there we go, Airfix's new 1/48 scale Curtis P50B Warhawk.